with a smile on your face. When you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to you, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad. Those of you viewing in the Caribbean and those of you on the live, good Thursday morning. Almost said Friday. Good Thursday morning to you.
Thursday, the 13th of July, 2023. For those of you who are students, university students, high school, primary school students, yes, this is your time out. This is the vacation period. I mean, save and accept that you're doing summer school, but this is your time out. This is the vacation period, and certainly we want to continue to wish you the very best. Of course, being out there in these times, particularly, we invite you to please be safe in all the enjoyment and the fun and the many social activities that are lined up for the July-August period. Oh, Rhea, I remember those days out of high school. You're happy for the time out. Looking forward for what there is to offer in this space.
You had more of that than I did. My father said, test finished on Wednesday, store on Thursday. So I had very few days like you did.
All right. Well, it certainly paid off. All right. Viewers, we're heading straight on into news in 90 seconds.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Thank you, Julian and Rhea. I am Bianna Brebner, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, 13th July 2023, brought to you by Flow. A second case of monkeypox was reported in Trinidad and Tobago yesterday. The first was reported by the Ministry of Health on Monday. According to the ministry, the first patient is a middle-aged man with travel history, while the second is a young adult male. They urge citizens to exercise good hygiene habits, including consistent hand washing and sanitization to stop the spread of the illness. Meanwhile, no cases were reported in Tobago, but health officials from the Division of Health and the TRHA are holding an emergency meeting today to prepare for any eventualities involving the monkeypox virus on the island. 3 men were held in connection with a robbery that occurred at a punch stall in Crown Point on Monday night. According to police reports, 2 of the men were from Mary's Hill, while the other is from Port of Spain. The men robbed patrons at the punch stall of jewelry. Then they escaped in an awaiting vehicle. However, Crown Point police were alerted and intercepted the vehicle. The assailants attempted to run away in nearby bushes, but were apprehended following a chase. Police also discovered 1 Glock pistol and a quantity of ammunition in the vehicle. Humanitarian emergency response and relief centers were established in New York City for asylum seekers. The number of asylum seekers from the Caribbean and other areas in the city custody has surpassed 52,000, according to New York's Mayor Eric Adams. Meanwhile, many asylum seekers crossing the southern U.S. border came from Cuba, Haiti, and Venezuela. Adams said the new Humanitarian Assistance Center will assist more than 330 refugees' families with children, while another emergency respite site will house roughly 1,400 adults in the upcoming weeks. And that was your news in 90 seconds, brought to you by Flow.
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Viewers, welcome back this morning. Welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. Well, Julian, it's just about that time for us to get into our birthday segment. Yes, that is sponsored by
KFC.
This is your birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC.
All right, and we get things started this morning celebrating a belated birthday greeting, and that goes out to Pastor Lawrence Johnson, who celebrated yesterday. So, Pastor Johnson, I know you thought that I would have forgotten. Yes, I did yesterday. I did indeed. But happy belated going out to you, and I trust that you continue to enjoy the celebrations all week long.
I trust that we can get a photo and a live shot for the next one.
I trust.
Birthday greetings are going out certainly this morning. We have special birthday greetings going out to my beautiful daughter, Biana Brebner, from her loving mom, Louise Brebner. I have watched you grow into the amazing woman you are today, and with each passing year, you continue to blossom even more. There's another personal part. I wonder if Biana wants me to read this. I'm just kidding. That's where mommy stopped. She's wishing you a happy birthday this morning. And we also want to send a happy birthday going out to you. We trust that you have an enjoyable birthday celebration. And thank you for taking part of that time to spend it here with us at Tobago Updates, Biana.
Thank you very much, Julian and Ria. And I trust that I will have a good day today.
All right. Seems like we caught her off guard.
I hope we did. Did we get you? Did we get you?
Did you see the expression when I said there's more after that? I wonder if I should read it. All right, folks. Thank you very much there again, and certainly wishing a happy birthday to each and everyone out there celebrating today. We're in that July time of the year. Birthday shout out sponsored by KFC.
Birthday shoutouts on Tobago Updates, sponsored by KFC. From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger.
The only one I see is you.
Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. And at this point, we're heading straight on into our rundown for this morning. We get started with the Honorable Lawrence Hislop, a senator in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. And this morning, we're discussing the Auditor General's report and the late payment of salaries, getting a perspective from the Honorable Lawrence Hislop.
And we continue the discussion this morning, chatting with Pastor Richard Van Amson, who is the pastor of Abundant Apostolic Mission. And this morning, the focus is on the LGBTQ community and Tobago.
And we'll also be chatting this morning, introducing our new title holders. We'll be speaking with Faith Gilazar, that's reigning Miss Universe at Trinidad and Tobago, Latifa Morris, reigning top model of the world Trinidad and Tobago, and Stephen Jones, Executive Officer of Crowns and Sashes Limited. So we look forward to those discussions coming up this morning. Ria, I want to get from you very quickly. What was your thoughts and feel when you saw that media release coming out from the Ministry of Health speaking to the issue of our first case and then notifying that we have identified another here in Trinidad and Tobago?
Cause for concern, cause for great concern. I thought back to COVID-19 when we had the first case in Trinidad and Tobago, then the second, and then there was just this rippling effect. So, and I know that there's a media release indicating the signs and symptoms. So knowing what to look for. So I think it's important that we all get a hold of it.
Do you feel that people are going into a state of consciousness immediately, or perhaps just still in a bit of a relaxed mood coming out of COVID?
Trinidad and Tobago, still in a bit of a relaxed mode. But it is cause for concern, and I think we need to be proactive this time around. We saw what COVID-19 did, and we saw how quickly things spread. So I think the proactive approach is what is necessary.
Excellent. So we certainly look forward to additional information coming forward, in the coming days, and so to really keep us abreast of what's happening. And particularly, we're also looking forward to the outcome, as was mentioned in the news, the TRHA, the Division of Health here in the Tobago House of Assembly, the THA's response. We look forward to hearing what comes out of these emergency meetings, identifying the preparation for, because I feel as though, sorry to say it as plain as it sounds, I feel as though we did all of this post-COVID. Well, and people have varying views on how it would have been managed, but we're here to live to see another day. So for those of us that made it, we really give thanks. But of course, there was certainly those families that felt the pain and challenge of having to lose a loved one under the circumstances, whether here locally, whether in the region, the world, and far and why. So we really pray that indeed these are unpredictable days ahead. But certainly we look forward to the continued updates both from health here at the Tobago House of Assembly and the Ministry of Health in Trinidad and Tobago. All right, viewers, at this point we head straight on into Tobago in Focus.
The Division of Education, Research and Technology's Student Support Services provides a range of services all geared at the holistic development of all children, including those who require special education services. School psychologist Marian Kent dispelled the notion that special education is a place. Rather, it is about encouraging children to embrace themselves.
Special education is a range of services that's afforded to individuals who are students who struggle academically, behaviorally, emotionally, socially, in fitting in and being able to perform with the reading, the math, even achieving goals.
Assistant Education Coordinator Susan Grant explained that a child with special needs or one requiring special education services are not limited to academic shortcomings. It also includes children who are creative or exceptional.
Special needs is not only what we see or the obvious. We have to talk about those who are the exception, who are brilliant and are moving ahead of our mainstream curriculum, and those who, because of circumstances, may end up needing specialized services.
Providing the best services for our children is the department's top priority and often requires collaboration with other divisions and agencies. However, the most important partnership is with the family. Ms. Kent appealed to parents and guardians to support the work of the department by becoming advocates for their children. The Division of Education, Research and Development's Student Support Services provides various services to students from early childhood to secondary school.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. We're just at about 7:11 a.m. this morning, and in this first segment, we are chatting with Senator the Honorable Lawrence Hislop this morning as we chat on some what may be general concerns happening at the national and the local level here, Trinidad and Tobago, and more specifically the Tobago House of Assembly. Good morning to you and welcome.
Morning, Julian. How are you doing? Morning, Tobago. It's good to be here.
All right, so as we get the conversation started this morning, the first area we want to touch on is the Auditor General's report. We have had a recent report produced in 2022 coming forward to us, and we note coming out of the recent press conference of the Tobago Council of the People's National Movement that you would have identified some concerns. So let's start from there, some of the issues that would have been raised.
Well, just to reiterate the point that the political leader made at the press conference, and just to re-emphasize the point as we drill down into what the Auditor General identified, there were two concerns that came out of that Auditor General's report that we wanted to highlight, or that we did highlight at the press conference. And one was the procurement procedures that were missing. Because as the Auditor General said, procurement procedures were not presented for audit examination. Therefore, it is not possible to verify whether proper procurement procedures were followed for the development program. And this speaks directly to a couple of the projects that we have highlighted over the period of time that this administration has been in office. Primarily, the road at Dutch Fort, the one at Shervan, the one at Pigeon Point, that we could see clearly that there were no proper procurement procedures. And we highlighted it before the Auditor General highlighted it. And this is a cause for concern because we kept reiterating the fact that these sole select projects, these projects that came out of, or these sole select contractors that came out of the woodworks, out of nowhere, stucco and roofing contractors. Those are things that we spoke to even before the Auditor General highlighted it. The other thing that we drilled down into was a letter via email that was sent to an assemblyman, and the Auditor General identified the fact that that is not the normal procedure within the public service. We noticed that during the budget debate, one of the assemblymen of the councillors, Councillor Sertica Williams, attempted to point that in the direction of the People's National Movement. But that book road that the Auditor General spoke to directly has to do with the paving project that was done, or the paving that was done prior to the goat race and so on. That major paving that took place in Buku. So the Auditor General highlighted these things, but those things were identified before the Auditor General wrote about it or spoke to it in their report. We at the Tobago Council brought those things to the fore. There were concerns about the way contracts were given, the timelines contracts were given, the haste in which contracts were given, and we kept asking the question, why the haste, why the short time frame, why the rush? Emergency works that were clearly not emergency works.
Would you say that it becomes a matter of perspective depending on where you sit in terms of, just as you mentioned in the latter part, what is defined as emergency works versus another? We have seen it coming out of the last administration, and we are seeing it being used by this current administration. How do you respond when you make the comparison of both?
No, but it's not a matter of perspective. It's a matter of proper procedures not being followed. There are clear guidelines as to how you go about issuing contracts. The RFP sent out. There are tenders that come in. You verify, and on top of that, the contractors must be registered. And Tobago was at the forefront of that. The contractors must be registered with the procurement unit. And what we saw is that a lot of these contractors are not only in the development aspect of road surfacing and so on. We talk about the school repair projects. A lot of these contractors, we found out, were not registered with the procurement unit, and if they were not, they were rushed to be registered so that they could fall within the requirements. But it is not because or a different perspective based on where you sit. There are procedures that were not followed. There were procedures, there were flaws in the tendering process that we identified, and it took. And I want to go back to this that the Auditor General's report was always a report that the present administration now, when they were in opposition, was always something that they referred to. They always waived the Auditor General's report, always identified things from the Auditor General's report. So for us, it's not a matter of perspective. Was a matter of following the correct procedures.
How do we get to the point where the Auditor General's report actually holds some weight? And by that I mean, you made a very good reference in terms of the former administration utilizing references from the Auditor General report in the context of the Tobago House of Assembly. But it is important to note that these are concerns usually raised broadly over central government. The same report to which you're referring alludes to the fact that there are over 100 accounts from just over 10 or so ministries and different sections where it is that they would not have presented in a timely manner to facilitate reconciliation. Right. How do we get to the point where it is these things are not only reported or highlighted and then used for political mileage, but rather there is some kind of holding persons accountable, both at the local, the Tobago House of Assembly, and the national level?
Well, Julian, it speaks to a change in the way we do business. And there has to be a will by individuals, whether it is at the THA level or at central government level. There has to be a will by the persons responsible. And we also have to bear in mind that in a lot of regards, there are various officers at different levels with responsibilities. And some officers don't see the need to fulfill their responsibilities as they should. And it should redound to a need by individuals to do what is right. If I go to work, I must be able to honestly put in a day's work fairly and do what I am supposed to do, what is required of me. But we want to go back. I want for us to not lose focus when it comes to the procurement procedures, if the procurement procedures are followed as they should, especially in this regard, then we would not have been in this position. And even the area that the Auditor General identified, where the contractor wrote directly to a secretary, to an assemblyman, detailing whatever it is in that letter, that is cause for concern. Because as was identified by the political leader, that has never happened. We've never seen that happen in previous administrations, where you have contractors writing directly to assemblymen about a contract. And this is not only about the Buku Road, but there's also the issue of the jetty at Speyside and so on, when they're speaking to a visit at an office of an assemblyman as it relates to that contract. These things ought not to happen. And that's what we're speaking to. We're speaking about those things highlighted in the Auditor General's report that speak to a clear breach of procedure.
All right, viewers, we take a break at this point, and we want to remind you that we'll be right back. Have no fear. We'll be right back with the Honorable Lawrence Hislop here on set with us this morning. We want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Come one, come all. It's time to join in the Tobago Heritage Festival 2023. Homage. All are we and all are who we be. To Tobago. Indulge in the awesomeness that is embodied in the spirit of Tobago at the 36th Tobago Heritage Festival. Celebrate a rich, vibrant, hypnotic showcase of our cultural legacy. Yes, from July 21st to August 1st, 2023. Take the island tour. Sample the sumptuous variety of local indigenous delicacies. Enjoy the recreation of old-time village life. Dance to the drum. Feel the rhythm of steel pan. Experience the way of life, languages, and oral traditions. Be part of the journey to our we heritage, honoring our past, celebrating our present, and inspiring our future. Relive our unique culture. Join in the preservation of the heritage of we island of Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. We just had about 7:22 a.m. This morning here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We continue the conversation with the Honorable Lawrence Hislop, a senator in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. And we just started by looking at the Auditor General's report. And one of the concerns that you would have raised more specifically in terms of procurement procedures, do you see the new regulations that would have been passed in terms of the, looking at the OPR now introduced in Trinidad and Tobago? Do you see that working for the overall benefit and even addressing some of the concerns that you've raised? Because as you rightfully said, the Auditor General's report spoke to issues of the procurement procedures were not presented to audit in the circumstances. Do you see that working for us and the contributions that were made to get us to this point where we actually now have it as law?
Well, any piece of legislation, and I was sharing with someone recently that legislation is a living, breathing thing. And so as time progresses, you can make the necessary changes to the legislation. I saw some concerns raised in the national landscape about what transpired during the CARICOM summit. And the Minister of Finance spoke to it in detail. And I like the fact that he said that there are amendments that need to be made, even though the legislation was recently passed. But persons have to remember that the legislation has been in the domain for quite some time. And the government just got to the point that, listen, we need to pass the legislation. Let's pass the legislation, let's enact it, and let's see where the flaws are, where the loopholes are, and as time progresses, you make the necessary changes. Procurement legislation is important because it it acts as a check and balance on how we do business. And we have complained over and over again in this country about corruption. And so if you have a piece of legislation that speaks to, at some level, it may not necessarily alleviate completely corruption, but it creates a check and balance on how we do business, on who we do business with, and why we do business. I think it's important. I think it's necessary. I think the new law is important for us. It is going to create an even greater, as we said before, check and balance on how we do business, and I think it is important.
How do you respond to the concerns that have been raised, of course, just as you heard, nationally and even locally, that it has been introduced in a kind of draconian manner where a number of suppliers, so to speak, have been caught in a situation where they are not registered at the national level? Because, of course, for some time now, we would have had operating here in Tobago, seeking to have our very own registration and, rigorous process for procurement and so on, and persons being registered here. However, up to my most recent information in terms of trainings and so on, it is understood that even while efforts would have been made to have that list at the level of the Tobago House of Assembly conveyed to the OPR, that's a clear no. Each supplier, each contractor, each person wanting to put forward services has an individual responsibility. What happens in the interim in terms of the acquisition of services and so on from the part of government and state-owned entities and the implications that it comes with?
Well, then again, you speak to the personal responsibility, and I must give commendation to previous, and this is not just because I'm P&M, but previous P&M administration, or the previous P&M administration, that would have made sure that outside of even the law being fully enacted, that the procurement unit and the procurement procedures were set up in Tobago. To the extent that the regulator at the time spoke very highly about what the THA was doing, and it speaks a lot about who we are as Tobagonians. And so, yes, I understand that there was a desire to just move the list wholeheartedly into the procurement regulation database, but there was a desire by those responsible that each contractor should then register individual responsibility. We could argue on whether that was really effective or not, but it still speaks to the fact that you have to be registered nationally, and it gives an opportunity not only for the public sector, but it gives an opportunity for private sector to peruse the listing of contractors, the registered contractors, and work within that framework. And I think it augurs well. I think it is good for us. I know it is taking a while. And I wouldn't say it's draconian because the way it was implemented, because the law was there, the information was there for quite some time, and we knew it was coming. I think what may be seen as draconian by business persons is the requirements. And we have operated in this country for so long from a standpoint of however it hang it swing. When if we do things, because you recognize that you have to be up to date with your taxes, with your NIS, and all of these things benefit the employee of these companies, Because if you're working for a company for 10 years and they deduct in NIS from your salary every month, every fortnight, and for whatever reason the employer is not crediting that to you, when it's time for you to retire and you go into national insurance and they tell you your contributions ain't reach up, who do we hold responsible? And so with this procurement legislation, it triggers a lot of things that businesses would have gotten away with. Taxes may not have been up to date, national insurance. So it triggers things like that, so that companies, employers know they can't duck from it, as we say. They have to if they want to do business with the government, you have to come up to scratch.
The other area that we want to touch on is the late payment of salaries happening within the Tobago House of Assembly. We are seeing this situation in some instances through the division of food production and some others. Some are making the direct connection to the fact of funds not necessarily coming on time as it should from central government. How do you respond to that broader concern of late salaries within the Tobago space?
No, it has a serious effect, not only on the individuals who are not being paid, and it is really unfortunate that that employees have to be going through this, especially at a time when the children are at home, and we know when children are home from school, they eat out the house more than when they're in school, and also the children want to be involved in activities during this August holiday, and so it's unfortunate, it's sad that employees have to be going through that. We have employees who have not been paid 3 fortnights, and I really would like the administration or the spokespersons for the administration to quit the blame game at central government that the money isn't coming. Because I am positive that if we had a situation in this island where releases were not coming on a timely manner from central government, we would have heard about it, Julian. We would not have heard the end of it from the Secretary of Finance and the Economy. And so I want to make the point that I don't believe the issue is the releases of funds from central government. I believe it has to do with how those releases are managed in a timely manner. And we should not be in a position, or we have not been in this position for quite some time, where employees are complaining that they're not being paid on time. Why is it that you have workers going 3 fortnights without salary?
Do you think it's a matter of experience versus inexperience? The PNM would have been there for an extended amount of time. You have found ways around it, because we know that the way in which the payment for these employees are set up are not ideal, because it's part of the development program versus recurrent expenditure. Yeah. Do you think it's a matter of experience versus inexperience now in terms of managing the affairs, particularly with the scenario in terms of treating with salaries out of a DP vote?
I think it's about priorities. That's what I think it is. I think the issue is about where are your priorities, because we're finding monies for other things, but we are unable to find the money for salaries, for payments to workers. So it's not, to me, it's not experience. I just think that if your priorities are in the right place, then you'd be able to treat with your staff, you'd be able to pay salaries on time. So I'm not going to put it down to experience. I think primarily, it may be an experience issue, but I think it's primarily about where your priorities lie.
All right, as we prepare to close this morning, unfortunately, I'm being told that we're out of time. Very quickly, I want to get your perspective. We've had the budget presented at the level of the Tobago House of Assembly. We're heading towards what would be the national budget. Can we look forward to seeing the goodly senator in the parliament advocating for more for Tobago, even if it is a matter of different administrations operating at the level of the Tobago House of Assembly versus you having a direct voice along with the other members of parliament in central government?
As I said in another place, I will always be in favor of more for Tobago. The question you have to ask is, when you've not done what you should do with what you consider as little, then what would you do? What would you do when you receive more? And I also want to make this point that when you juxtapose, or when you put the comparison between what was considered little, or what is considered little by previous administrations, and what have been done, or what has been done with the little by previous administrations, it begs the question: if you can't manage little, if we have a situation with salaries not being paid and all of this, and your priorities being messed up with little, what's going to happen with more? I want to remind Tobago that this administration has received the larger chunk, or has received more than any other administration in the last 5 years. The last budget allocation was $125 million more than previous administrations. And so I will always advocate for more, because Tobago is deserving of more. But when you receive the more, how are you going to manage the more that you get?
All right. Thank you very much, Senator the Honorable Lawrence Hislop. We got to leave it there this morning, folks. Joining us here on set, we want to say thank you very much for continuing to bring forward those perspectives and certainly giving his commitment to putting Tobago first. I think that's a safe statement to say, for putting Tobago first, no matter the circumstances, even if he may have concerns with the management here on the island by the current administration. We want to thank you very much, viewers, for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates morning show. And at this point, we want to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Inner Health, number 13B, Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience, offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Are you flood ready? Review and update insurance coverage. Install floodgates and barriers. Create a family flood plan. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
Right now, Tobagonians are just currying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, half-inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates morning show. We're chatting this morning on the issue of the LGBTQ community and Tobago. Here to start the discussion with us is Pastor Richard Van Amsen, who's the pastor of the Abundant Life?
Abundant Apostolic Mission. That's right, located in Signal Hill, Tobago. Pastor, good morning and welcome. Pleasant morning to you and, of course, to all your viewing audience and listening audience. Thank you for having me.
Now, you and I chatted before this interview, and I want to get from you this morning, our viewers, of course, would like to know from you, what is the church's perspective on the LGBTQ community in Trinidad and Tobago and worldwide? What does God have to say about it? There's some who believe or push the agenda that people are people and love who you love. Love is love. Why single out LGBTQ, and that is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and we now have intersex, queer, asexual, non-binary, plus?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What is the issue?
Well, you see, one of the key things that must be understood regarding this is, of course, in more recent times, okay, as far as the community is concerned and the agenda, we have seen a radical shift, a radical emergence and advancement of their particular agenda. And so therefore, of course, the church's position and perspective of it continues to be and remains biblically rooted and biblically oriented. And so therefore, the agenda of the community, and as far as God is concerned and as far as God views it, is, of course, God has taken the position that in this community, when it comes to the whole idea of sexuality, gender identity, and so forth, it still remains that God has ordained for male and female, to be those that are not only part of the society, but will continue to propagate society and, of course, the population by and large. Okay, but one of the things I want to speak to regarding this, of course, because as we know, this is a very broad context.
Yeah.
It's a very broad context, and so I really want to speak, in a sense, to the historical context in our more recent times regarding the LGBTQ community, and of course the emergence and advancement in our more recent times. Because what is happening is that especially when it concerns itself with pride and the whole push for pride and pride community celebration of the months of pride, we had globally this taking place in the month of June, and of course here in Trinidad and Tobago, they have chosen the month of July. Okay, and so
July or June?
Well, in Trinidad and Tobago, they have chosen really the month of July, and so there's a lot of activities that are centered around that particular celebration within Trinidad and Tobago,
Right.
and so forth. So the emergence of this really came out from the Stonewall uprising that took place in 1969. Okay, in New York. Okay, we saw that in those days the community it was outlawed and stuff like that, and so there was an uprising that took place in 1969, and so to commemorate that in 1970 in the month of June, you find that now you have had the Pride March and the Pride celebration and all of that coming to the fore. And so since 1970 to now, it has emerged, it has expanded, okay, and so it is present with us today. And you find that it will continue to expand and be present with us and so forth. And we have also witnessed that the flag and the colors of the flag and all this kind of thing.
How significant are the colors of the Pride flag? We also have Pride TT in Trinidad and Tobago now.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, quite on the 1st of July, we saw the flag raising ceremony that took place at the Fort King George.
Yes.
And they spoke about the colors of the rainbow. There's some who say it's not pride, it's promise. That the colors of the rainbow are not pride, it's promise. But talk about the significance of the colors of the flag used by the LGBTQ community.
Okay, so well, of course, again, in historical context, this really came to the fore in 1978 when the flag was officially created and used in San Francisco. And so therefore, for the community, the flag represents a sense of integration. It represents a sense of diversity as far as the community is concerned. Okay, and of course, it symbolizes, according to their narrative, it symbolizes life. It symbolizes the sun. It symbolizes nature and so forth. But it is to be noted that the whole rainbow and the presence and the colors of the rainbow, it's really a God-given thing, actually. Okay, and it was borrowed by the community to symbolize their integration and stuff like that. But as far as the God is concerned and the giving of the rainbow, the rainbow symbolizes covenant. Okay, it symbolizes covenant because in its origin, God gave it as a sign, a symbol of covenant. Okay, and then of course by extension, it speaks about the rainbow being a signal of the end of judgment that brought the flood and all this kind of thing. But very important, it is a symbol of covenant. It is God-given, okay? And it is that sign of new beginnings and so forth. So what we have found and what we have discovered is that a lot of people, because the community has adopted the colors of the rainbow and so forth, a lot of people have been shying away from it.
From wearing the colors?
From the colors and associating themselves with the colors and so forth. But the thing about it is that I think in the general community, when you understand where it came from and the reason why it was given, there should not be a shying away from it. There should not be a distancing of ourselves from it of course, in the church. And then, of course, in the wider community, we should not distance ourselves from it and just see these colors as being owned by the community.
There's some who believe that this type of discussion promotes hate and division in a country or community. What would you say to that?
Well, what I will say to that, now, of course, admittedly, there is a sense of hostility, especially in the Caribbean context. There's a sense of hostility that you find against the community in different pockets of our society and stuff like that. But it is to be noted, and I think this is very important here, that whenever you speak certain truths regarding the community, it is not to suggest really that this is a portrayal of hatred towards the community, okay? But because, of course, as you would know, the church community that I represent and that I come from, okay, it is important that, and especially when you look at all the recent development in terms of gender fluidity, non-binary relations and stuff like that, there must be, I would think, some speaking to these narratives. There must be, because it's in the community, it's in the space. And I think that there should be some speaking of truth in relation to it. There should be some kind of informing and education, as far as, yes, what they are purporting, but also what Bible teaches, what God says. And so when we share, especially from the church community, these particular truths, okay, it sometimes is interpreted as being, hatred towards the community, but really and truly it is not. It is just really the declaration and the giving of information of God's truth and so forth. And I want to say, very important, and I think that this is to be noted really, that as far as the church community is concerned,
yes,
okay, our intention is not to be condemnatory towards the community.
It's important to note that.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's important to note that. But really, our approach really is to educate. It is to inform, and of course, it is to bring a sense of emancipation, because one of the agendas of the church is that the church is salvific in its agenda and its approach, and so what must come to the fore as far as the general outreach to this community and all men is that we must be salvific. Every person deserves God's salvation. And so from those standpoints, we do not look forward to be condemnative towards the community, but as I say, speak truth, give information, educate with the intention that there should be some redemptive result.
All right. Now, the purpose of this interview this morning is to begin the discussion.
Definitely.
And we are certainly looking forward to maybe having you back with us. Not maybe, but certainly looking forward to having you back with us at another time, and probably your bishop and other ministers. But have you found that the Christian community, particularly in Tobago, has been silent, quiet, dormant on this issue?
Well, what I can say to that is one of the things that is certain is that within the context of our churches and within the four walls of our churches, our constituents, or the constituents within the church, they are being informed, they are receiving information. It is being spoken of, within the four walls, and so forth. What has to happen now is that, for example, what we are doing here, it has to become more public in terms of what has to be said and what needs to be said. And so what I see happening is that more and more now, the church is coming outside of its four walls and really speaking to this and so forth. So let me say, for example, within the Power fraternity, on the 19th of this month, we have, a comprehensive sexuality seminar and discussion that's coming up, and it promises to be very, very informative. So we are moving in that direction to get it out there. And what I'm saying in essence is that the silence that would have been in time past, as far as the churches is concerned, it is being broken now.
Okay.
Things are really emerging, and it's getting out there.
All right. But Pastor Van Amson, we've got to leave it here for today, but I want to thank you for taking the time to come onto the program to share with us. And I think we need to go a little bit deeper, maybe the next time around.
Definitely.
But like we said, this was just introducing the topic or starting the discussion. All right. So we thank you again for being with us this morning.
Okay. And thank you for having me.
A pleasure indeed. Viewers, we've got to leave it there for this time. We've got lots more coming up this morning on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. So share the live, share the live, share the live.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below. 'cause this is your show.
Are you flood ready? Recycle and properly dispose of large waste. Avoid sweeping yard clippings or trash into drains. Plant trees to avoid soil erosion. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. Tatil, where people are people.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. Yes, we're just heading down to the final interview here this morning. Ria?
Yeah, but just before we get into that, just some information here on why you need to choose Papa B's as your for your vacation stay here in Tobago for this holiday season. All right, so Papa B's is that's Papa B's Inn. It's located on number 6 Scipio Trace in Canby. They provide mini mart bar, pool, massages, salon, air-conditioned rooms, Wi-Fi, and the list goes on. They've got some amazing packages, and some of the packages include $700 per couple, $1,000 for family, $600 for single. Breakfast and lunch are available. You can contact them for your bookings at 631-0838 or 768-7712. They are on Facebook and Instagram. All right, so you want to check out Papa B's. Let Papa B's Inn be your vacation home while you're here in Tobago.
All right, and at this point, we're heading into our final interview this morning. We would be speaking with Faith Gelezer, and I hope I have that pronunciation right, Latifah Morris and Stephen Jones. Good morning to each of you, and welcome.
Morning everyone.
Excellent.
Good morning. Good morning.
Really beautiful to have you on with us this morning. No pun intended. Certainly. As we start get the conversation started, we're speaking about introducing our new title holders, and certainly looking exceptional there in terms of presenting themselves this morning. So we get started with the Executive Officer of Crowns and Sashes Limited, Stephen Jones. Tell us a little bit about the whole presentation here this morning of our new title holders.
Good morning, family. Thank you so very much for again welcoming us back into the Tobago space. We're always very heartened when we are unable to get on a plane to come to Tobago that you can bridge the gap for us. The Crowns and Sashes Academy, as you may be familiar, has been around. This year would be 5 years of founding as a pageant training academy and production house. And this morning, Tobago, we're very, very happy and proud that we have 2 young women who have risen to the occasion. And just short of 2 weeks or so, Faith Gelezer and Latifah Morris have been crowned our new title holders. And they both will be representing us at international competitions later this year and early in 2024. So the lovely young lady from San Fernando West is now Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago, Faith, and Latifah, who represented Diego Martin, is our new top model of the world. Both young women who are career women. They are passionate about their own causes, which I'm hoping they will share with us a little bit. And we are looking forward to watching them bloom before our very eyes. So here we are. And really, this is an invitation to both Trinidad and Tobago to rally around, because El Salvador and Egypt, we are coming hard for you guys this time.
All right, Stephen, before we chat with these two lovely ladies, I want to get from you this morning, how has crowns and sashes morphed, or how has it transitioned over the last 5 years?
I'm so happy, Ria, that you used the word morphed, because the theme of our presentation this year was really metamorphosis, taking the individual, the community, and the country on a transformative journey, really, being able to look at our internal identity. Who are we as a Trinbagonian people? Who are we as an academy? And of course, what do we want to present this new version of who we are? And to be able to do that work, we must take a look within. And so we look back at our recent history, 2019, when we would have just started with Miss Supranational. As a matter of fact, Ria, I'm happy to share with you that we have 2 title holders currently in Poland at the Miss and Mr. Supranational competitions. But in 2019, we started with 1 brand. And just shy of 5 years, we are now managing 4 international franchises. But more than the acquisition of franchises, we have become more comfortable in our skin as an academy. We have been consistent with our placement, but more so, our voice, our collective and our national voice, the things that we are passionate about, things that in 2019 or before we may have been shy to talk about, the academy is a lot more confident in talking about social causes, in talking about patriotism and ambassadorship. And what does that look like for us as we project ourselves in these international spaces? And so I'm very, very happy to be supported by a team of volunteers, of professionals who help to give identity to this good work that we are doing here at the academy.
Okay.
All right, as we continue the conversation this morning, Latifa Morris, we're going to start with you, telling us a little bit about how has this experience been and the journey to this point and your hopes and aspirations as you look towards representing Trinidad and Tobago.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me. This journey for me is one that I am very happy and elated to be part of. It has been a dream. I have out for some years, and I'm to be back into it. I am a mother, yes, but I am here to stand strong and be a representation of what women can do, whether we are mothers, career women, that we could do it locally. And I am here and so happy to represent and show the world what is made of and what women can do.
I'm happy you mentioned in terms of being a mom. And some people think when you present yourself for these opportunities, you are literally one of those, I've got nothing else to do, I'm just out of school, I've got a world of time on my hand. Bring some clarity for us in terms of the realities of doing family life simultaneously while striving and presenting yourself to represent Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you for that question. Reality that it's possible. I am here so that it's all you basically have to do is some routines, make some journal, put your life in order, and you can be a representative. I am here to show that. So other persons who have dreams and visions just as mine could open to come out. Basically, they have insight to do.
Let me ask you here, and we'll be getting ready. We're going to be chatting with Faith Gilazo in just a little while. But in terms of Latifa, as well, being a mother, again, you mentioned that you're a mother, and I was really happy to hear that as well. But what sort of toll does it take on your body? Now, motherhood in itself takes a toll on your physical body, but you are putting yourself out there as a model. How do the two marry? Because there was a time when you thought models were not mothers and mothers were not models, but you represent both. What sort of toll does it take on your physical body? Because I mean, you're representing TNT. You've got to be looking really good, sister. So tell us how you manage. How do you manage?
Well, I started working out at the age of 16, so physical has always been very test. So I would have maintained it for years, and when I had my son, I had to get back to who I am, because before I am a mother, I am a woman, I am an individual, and I try my best to maintain that, and to me that is what is going to propel me to do my very best. And the first part of it, I maintain it by maintaining my health, my wellness, exercising, eating properly, and the discipline has worked very well, as you can see, basically.
All right. And we move across the chat with Faith for a bit at this point. Tell us a little bit about your experience and this journey as we speak to getting to this point where you have been selected to represent Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Well, Latifa put it excellently. The journey itself has been transformative, to say the least, and it has been such a new experience for me. And to tack back on something else that she said, it really is possible, and I want to reiterate that you can have it all. As a woman, you can have it all. I feel like I'm only 25, and in my lifetime, I've lived so many different lives. I've been a national athlete, a steel band player, medical professional, and now I am a pageant winner. I'm a beauty queen. So I just wanted to reiterate that there is enough time in the day to do all of the things that you want to do, even if they may seem varying and different. But I do believe, just like she said, that there is enough time and it is possible, and we should all be encouraged to use all of our gifts to the absolute best of our ability. And this competition has given me an opportunity to do that.
Now, you're from athlete to beauty queen, from athlete to beauty queen. Tell us this morning, what is that cause that you are passionate about, and how do you plan on making a difference?
My social advocacy is something that I am so passionate about. As a medical professional, I've chosen to marry a little bit of my medical background with my experience as a national athlete. Of course, we know that chronic disease is absolutely rampant in Trinidad and Tobago. And I do believe that at this moment, we cannot continue to focus on treatment. We have to pivot our efforts to prevention. So for my social advocacy, I've embarked on a project that is intending to educate and inform children of the primary level on the benefits of diet and exercise in mitigating their risk of chronic disease. And it's been going wonderfully so far. Children are so receptive to learning new things and finding different ways to make food interesting and to make exercise fun. They've been an absolutely wonderful crowd, and I'm excited to continue with it.
Latifa, tell us a little bit as well about your social advocacy and, where that passion lies.
Well, my advocacy is food security. I intend to give hope to others who can't really help themselves. What I normally do, I would share food often. I came from a family where we would do that. We've been doing that for many years. I want to basically bring it to a broader scale and get the help needed, because there are a lot of persons who can't help themselves, whether it's food, and my foundation, the name of it is basically Hope Fund. So I really want to give them hope. Some persons and show them a different life, and what is very, very dear and to my heart, and I'm so excited about it, and I'm looking forward to bringing it on.
Excellent. Stephen Jones, as we come back to you, and I saw the expressions there on set as they presented themselves, and I am thankful that we don't have "I want world peace" kind of queens and you just go quiet.
Yes.
And you hope everyone applauds there. But they're actually speaking to real issues, connecting with our society and so on. How important is that over the years in terms of the kind of impact coming out of these, projects and so on that we have seen for your institution?
Yeah, it's very important. You know that old saying, and well, it's old because we've known it forever. That charity begins at home. Really and truly, for me, this is personal because I have had the lived experience, as Latifa shares so eloquently, of not having access to a meal when I was a child. I have had the experience growing up as a young boy, as a child into my teenage years, of not understanding, even now, the benefits of having a proper diet. But at the baseline of that, what is important is that we have people of goodwill who are constantly pouring back into us, building bridges, creating spaces, doing facilitation work. And I want to dare say that the Crowns and Sashes Academy, the brand, is a true representation and an extension of who I am as a person. It's not two separate things. And so whether you are hoping to become a runway model, a catalog model, or a beauty queen, one of the core identities of our organization is not just charity, but philanthropy and helping our young people to see that they coexist in a global space that does not belong to them. It belongs to God, who is our creator. And there's a social responsibility that we all play and that we all participate in caring for one another. And really, that has a lot to do with justice and how do we support the work of humanity. And so we've seen over the 5 years a myriad of projects and advocacies and community service initiatives that have taken off the ground. And so we're very, very proud to support it. And we are grateful also for corporate Trinidad and Tobago who have supported some of our title holders in helping to move their initiatives from the ground to another level. And so we pledge our support to Faith and Latifa in the same way.
Okay, ladies, what would be a message? What would be a message? And this is to Latifa and the Faith. What would be a message to women and girls throughout Tobago, Trinidad, the region, and the world? What would be your message? Latifa, you can go first.
Okay, no problem. My will be that, as we said earlier on, that you can do it all. With the strength of God, with the help of God, and the belief in self, I believe that you can do it all. I believe that we have a voice. We really do have a voice, and we should use that voice to help others, to compel others to be their best self, to reach their fullest potential. And I would say to young girls that to stay focused. That is basically what I will do, to stay focused and dig deeper within themselves and get the help that is out there for us to use our voice and do better and make the world a better place. You know, be basically social advocates for right, for justice. And that is what I will tell young ladies.
Thank you.
Well, similarly, I would say to young girls, of course, never limit yourself and use all of your gifts to the full extent possible. But to tack back on what Stevie said as well, Trinidad and Tobago, we have a very strong sense of community. And something that I would encourage, not just for young girls, but for young people across the country, is to remember that sense of community and remember that the onus is on us to take care of those members of our community that cannot take care of themselves. There is always space to assist those who are less fortunate and those who are unable to do so for themselves. And there is always the effort of young people to take up that mantle and make that happen. So I would just encourage all young people across the planet, of course, to be conscious of their effects on their communities and the ways in which they can contribute and be of service to others.
All right. And ladies, before we close, it's important in terms of reminding our viewers, and we get started with Faith. Tell us, when is the competition to ensure persons tune in? We as persons would say, we're putting you into that Miss Universe mode. Ladies and gentlemen, Faith Gilazar.
We are tentatively looking at November or December of 2023. So just later this year, not too far away at all. But myself and the rest of the team, we all feel We feel fantastic. We feel confident. We're all working very, very hard towards it. And along this journey, I have to mention, along this journey, I've had the privilege of meeting some very wonderful people. But as we are talking to Tobago today, I have to say that Latifa and I both had the pleasure of meeting Miss Tobago, the very beautiful and incredibly talented and creative Nedra Waldron. And while we're on the topic, I have to say she's truly a credit to her beautiful island. An absolute gem. And she has been an incredible part of this journey for me towards Miss Universe 2023.
All right. And where would you be representing us? Which part of the world will Miss Universe be held
We will be
this year?
going to South America, El Salvador. So we're very excited.
All right. Excellent. And Latifa, similarly, please feel free. Let us know when can we look forward to and certainly being tuned in and where will it be held. Handing over to you, Latifa Morris.
Okay.
All right. So unfortunately, there I think we have some connection challenges on the end from Latifa. So you know, Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Executive Officer, Crowns and Sashes. Please tell us where can we look forward to seeing Latifa and when is that coming up?
I'm so accustomed to being put in this situation. But Latifa is preparing for Cairo, Egypt. Top Model of the World happens in Egypt every year. Until we decide that we have all of the resources to bring the competition to Trinidad or to Tobago. So maybe hint, that's somewhere we can
I love it.
But yes, we are looking at Egypt. We've been to this competition before, as recent as earlier this year and last year. And just to remind our Trimbagonian family that we have won Top Model of the World in 1998, the very same year that we won Miss Universe.
Yes.
It's not impossible. We can do it again.
Definitely, most definitely. And I have to say, two lovely ladies were selected to represent Trinidad and Tobago. They are beauty with brains. Somebody say, thank God. Beauty with brains. And we really appreciate it. And we want to wish you all the best as you go forward. And I have to say here, Stephen, yes, we can do it again. Definitely.
And I'm happy that Faith spoke to it. And Stephen, I just want you to remind us very quickly before we close this morning, the connection that these opportunities are open for all across Trinidad and Tobago. She just spoke to Nedra again, one whom we're very proud of here in Tobago. Certainly, give us that reminder. So for persons that are looking on who are far east, deep south, persons right here in Tobago wondering, oh, no, you have to probably be from either Sando or you have to be from the west side. Just remind us again about this opportunity being open far and wide, working in the academy with young ladies from across Trinidad and Tobago.
We are in the digital age. We are a click away. crownsandsashestt.com or anywhere online you can find us. As a matter of fact, we are remobilizing because we've had 5 years of intense work nonstop. We actually launched Miss Universe in Tobago last year when we took on the franchise again under the academy. So we're very, very happy to continue those relations. And please allow me to say to you guys that I have members on my team. Actually, one of my communications heads, Marsha Ramsey-Louis, is my representative on the island in Tobago. And so we are strategizing on a series of initiatives to keep Tobago engaged. And to the Tobago space that is listening this morning, we are doing this together. It's not us and you all. It's all of us together. It's one country. When we go to these international competitions, they don't call us by our first name. Our name becomes Trinidad and Tobago. So please do not be shy. When there's a casting call, come out. If you want to get training in public speaking or runway or business development or any other life skill, reach out. We are present. We are ready to be a part of your community.
All right. Thank you very much there. I see we have Latifa is back with us. Final 30 seconds, Latifa, as we wrap this morning. You've got the closing statement on behalf of the team.
Hi?
Yes, I said final 30 seconds. You have got the closing statement on behalf of the team this morning as we wrap this morning's interview.
Okay, what I want to say is thank you for having us. We love to because at the end of the day, we are Trinidad and Tobago inclusive. We are not, we all are not excluded. And I want to say thank you on behalf of Crowns and team, and I look forward to the great work that we have, the long journey that we have, the work that we have to do. And I be my sister and I feel go in and represent country and bring titles home.
Excellent. Thank you very much there for joining us on set this morning. We would have had Stephen Jones, Executive Officer, Crowns and Sashes, Faith Gilazar, reigning Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago, and Latifah Morris, reigning top model of the world Trinidad and Tobago, really presenting here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us on set. Ria, it's always a pleasure when you can interact and to connect with individuals that don't seem to be that typical beauty queen of the past. Not my Miss Universe Wendy Fitzwilliams, one who I really admire. But those times when you've literally seen you're looking on at the competition and the responses almost make you wonder what's going on here, what's going on here, what's going on here.
But I think that Trinidad and Tobago is certainly in good hands with these two representatives. I love the fact you see from athletes to beauty queen.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So we are pushing and we're rooting for our girls.
And certainly a good indication, even when you make the connection, one indicating she's a mother. So she's balancing that time but still being able to potentially achieve that dream about being able to represent Trinidad and Tobago. Very real circumstances. As I said, my expressions probably may not have been able. It's not very often that I am not able to hold back my expression. But had I heard any at all that I want world peace, I may not have been able to hold back.
We moved away from that.
That kind of expression here. Not that world peace is a bad thing. No. But it just seems kind of typical of a response.
So appreciate, yeah,
in this environment 10, 20 years ago. Perhaps even 30, when you speak about competitions of this nature. Viewers, I particularly enjoyed that interview this morning.
Yes, we did. We did indeed. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck at world peace, but we've certainly moved beyond that now. Okay, but
yes.
yeah.
All right, and viewers, we want to thank you so much for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates morning show. From here, we head straight on over to Tobago Notes, and then we take you into GMT this morning. So we invite you to stay tuned. We're saying bye for now. See you tomorrow. But stay tuned as we head on over to Tobago Notes, followed by GMT. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
DeAndre is back home after experiencing his first Special Olympics game, after competing in the mini javelin and the long jump events, and cupping a bronze medal in the mini javelin. He said that his experience was
very good. I had fun. Then I enjoyed myself. Thank you. Thank you, coaches.
DeAndre's proud and very supportive mother, Vanessa, said the change in environment didn't deter him from competing at a high level and is extremely proud of his accomplishments.
DeAndre did the mini javelin and long jump. He excelled in the mini javelin where he got the bronze medal, and I was so excited. At first I was a little bit worried because this is the first time he actually traveled and left on his own without me, but I wasn't too worried about his safety and how he would react with other people because he's a people person. I was scared of the training was 3 months, so and this was new disciplines to him that he have never done before. So when he got the medal, I was really, really excited, knowing that the quantity of people, of athletes that he was there. I was surprised that he wasn't wowed by the different environment because this is a big, big country, So it was, to me, I am extremely proud. I'm really, really proud of him. I want to be I must say, thanks to his coach, Miss Lindell Sanchez and Mr. Stephen Ralph. They are excellent coaches, and I am very thankful for them, for the support that they gave to him. By the grace of God, they all did it.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family's home away from home.
Tapicom. Welcome to the future. The only card you will need in a new world. Digital business cards. Safe, hassle-free. The future is here. Tapicom. New generation digital transfer. Digital time clock cards. Digital attendance cards. Air tags. Customized designs. Digital clothing tags. Digital pet tags. Tapicom. The future is here. Contact us today.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
Are you looking for a place for your loved ones? Heavenly Care welcomes you. Located at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors, we offer a variety of services. These include doctor visitations, social activities, geriatric care, and much more. Contact us at 277-9595 or visit us at Northside Road opposite Massey Motors. At Heavenly Care, compassion is at the heart of all care.
From the experts that created the Zinger sandwich comes the KFC Crispy Barbecue Zinger. Cheddar cheese, crispy onions, the most delicious Kentucky Fried Chicken, and barbecue sauce. Get ready for a whole new level of flavor.
Come one, come all. It's time to join in the Tobago Heritage Festival 2023. Homage. All are we, and all are who we be. To Tobago. Indulge in the awesomeness that is embodied in the spirit of Tobago at the 36th Tobago Heritage Festival. Celebrate a rich, vibrant, hypnotic showcase of our cultural legacy. Yes, from July 21st to August 1st, 2023. Take the island tour. Sample the sumptuous variety of local indigenous delicacies. Enjoy the recreation of old-time village life. Dance to the drum. Feel the rhythm of steel pan. Experience the way of life, languages, and oral traditions. Be part of the journey to our we heritage, honoring our past, celebrating our present, and inspiring our future. Relive our unique culture. Join in the preservation of the heritage of we island of Tobago. Inner Health, number 13B Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago, with over 25 years experience offering services in and not limited to microscopic blood analysis, reflexology, and the sale of a wide range of organic herbal products used to supplement thyroid, lymphatic, heart, kidney, and brain health, and the male and female reproductive systems. Come and chat with us. Remember, your health is your wealth.
Are you flood ready? Review and update insurance coverage. Install floodgates and barriers. Create a family flood plan. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATL, where people are people.
Yeah. Hey. Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, you know, whenever you see me here, it's because we're going to have that conversation that you want to have to get your day started, and we're going to ask those questions that you want to get asked. But before we get into that, I want to hit you guys with the news in 90 seconds. And firstly, a second case of monkeypox has been reported in Trinidad and Tobago yesterday. The first was reported by the Ministry of Health on Monday. According to the ministry, the first patient is a middle-aged man with a travel history, while the second is a young adult male. They urge citizens to exercise good hygiene habits, including consistent hand washing and sanitization, to stop the spread of the illness. Meanwhile, no cases were reported in Tobago, but health officials from the Division of Health and the TRHA are holding an emergency meeting today to prepare for any eventualities involving the monkeypox virus on the island. Additionally, 3 men were held in connection with a robbery that occurred at a punch stall in Crown Point on Monday night. According to police reports, 2 of the men were from Mary's Hill, while the other is from Port of Spain. The men robbed patrons at the punch stall of jewelry. They then escaped in a waiting vehicle. However, Crown Point police were alerted and intercepted the vehicle. The assailants attempted to run away in nearby bushes, but were apprehended following a chase. Police also discovered 1 Black Glock pistol and a quantity of ammunition in the vehicle. And finally, Humanitarian Emergency Response and Relief Center were established in New York City for asylum seekers. The number of asylum seekers from the Caribbean and other areas in the city's custody has surpassed 52,000, according to New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Meanwhile, many asylum seekers crossing the southern U.S. borders from Cuba, Haiti, and Venezuela. Adams said the new Humanitarian Assistance Center will assist more than 330 refugee families with children, while another emergency response site will house roughly 1,400 adults in the upcoming week. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Guys,
The news in 90 seconds is brought to you by Flow, working for you on Tobago's newest fiber network.
Tobago, after freeness is more speed and better TV. Get a free Samsung smartphone and free installation, plus 200 megabits per second, Paramount Plus, and more for only $299 with a select 200 plan from Flow. Visit online at discoverflow.co today.
welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, guys. As you know, we are heading into the Tobago Heritage Festival season, and there are a number of activities that we are looking forward to, but one of those really popular activities that we are going to be at for this Heritage Festival is the Plymouth J'ouvert. And this morning, we're going to be talking a bit about that, and to have that conversation with me this morning, I have Mr. Cleon McPherson, who is one of the directors and founder of RE Promotion. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Tobago.
Yes.
All right. Well, as I said, one of the most highly anticipated events for the Tobago Heritage Festival is that Plymouth J'ouvert that seems to draw a really huge crowd to Tobago. It is one of those attractions that doesn't only attract Tobagonians, but it attracts that domestic tourism as well. And your team at RE Promotion is going to be putting forward your presentation for that J'ouvert, and that's called the Boa, the Realm of the Guile. Did I get that correct?
Boa, the realm
Boa,
of the guy.
the Realm of the Guile. And so tell us a bit about what you guys would be presenting this year. I know that you have a history, a long-standing history of being at the Plymouth J'ouvert competitively.
Yeah. Basically, we started in 2012. The first presentation was something called Maximum Dunout. We were in its infancy at that point in time, and then obviously, as you develop, we grew. So for us, it's just not only about the J'ouvert itself, but this event is basically precursor to our charity event in August. So we actually try to raise funds with this event to do our annual back to school charity, this would be the 8th year we'll be doing it.
Excellent. And tell us a bit about what Boa, the Realm of the Guile, is all about.
All right, so we already know in terms of the Heritage Festival. So what we always try to do is bring some kind of traditional form or some kind of folklore form within that aspect. In the past, we have done in terms of sailor, minstrels, or last year we did a kind of Wild Indian kind of setting, which was Apache. Right, so this year we try to give the audience something that they would enjoy, because you have to remember too as well, our demographic would be more youths into in that kind of age. So you always have to try to keep something fresh or even a hybridized form of a traditional mask, because in this contemporary time, the youths wouldn't be wearing any full traditional garb at the end of the day. So we always try to do something that still has traditional aspects as well. You could learn something, learn the history, learn something in that aspect, and then also you enjoy yourself in that merriment and revelry.
Excellent. And tell us what cultural aspects are you guys really zooming in on this time around?
The thing about it is that, as you see, the Realm of the Guile is more in terms of stick fighting, right? So the Guile now is that ring where the fighters actually meet. Obviously, I can't give you exactly too much on it because it's a competition. So, probably some of the competitors would be watching. But definitely would be something that the patrons would be able to be engaged, they will be able to enjoy. And persons that have been played in the past, they already know what RE brings in terms of that standard. What we will be doing is that we have 2 distribution days, would be tomorrow, and that will be at Happy Place Bar from around 4:30 to about, let's say, 8:30. And the next distribution will be on the 21st. That will be at Asia Bar at Crown Point. So we have actually 2 distribution days, right? And even with the sections of the band, we kind of mirror it in terms of the name of the sections to different types of wood. So we have pine, cedar, mahogany, maple. So and actually 2 of these sections actually sold out. So you see the pine there, that's actually sold out, and also the cedar is actually sold out as well. So we still have packages for the males and females.
But they're all black.
Yes.
But we're
black
talking about wood, which has different hues of brown.
Different hues of brown. So even with the wood will come in terms of with the fighting stick in itself.
Okay.
Right? So on the morning itself, obviously you see how she has the stick in her hand as well, right? So even on the morning itself, it would have that kind of engagement. Even the presentation itself would show different traditional elements while incorporating certain things from now.
Okay, excellent. And tell us about any specials that you guys possibly have going on.
The thing about it, we started, the early bird was $450, and then it's actually $500 now. We still try to keep it at a reasonable rate based on we know how the economy is going, and we try to give persons not only value for money, but also, your money's worth at the end of the day, because, sometimes persons go to various events sometimes and they probably don't get their money's worth. But I know for sure, definitely in terms of, RE has a history of giving you more than what you pay for, definitely.
Excellent. And so this is all inclusive in the package.
All
right?
inclusive.
Tell us what we can look forward to.
Right,
in
so
this
all
package.
inclusive in the package, you get your goodie bag in terms of the various accessories that comes with the packages itself. Also, you get your cup, you get free drinks on the road, you get your breakfast as well, which is always a highlight. And then, well, the entertainment, the after party. So usually what the process, what is going to happen is that, let's say from 3 to 5, there's a little warm-up settings. Then we go on the road from about 5 to 8. And then we come back to the camp from 8 to 10 to have that after party, eat, and, you know, enjoy ourselves.
Okay, and where is the camp? Is it?
This will be in Plymouth, close to the field, close to the Plymouth field area, after you pass the playground on the left-hand side.
Right, and so this means that you guys have a stage set up and artists and stuff that will be performing.
Well, yeah, we have some things in store. We have definitely have some things in store, but, you know, we don't want to give out, you know, it's all a surprise. So a lot of stuff will be revealed by next week, yeah.
Excellent. And you said that you guys are targeting a younger demographic. Do you know exactly who your target audience is? Who exactly are you targeting?
Well, the thing about it is that we have been around for 12 years. So even if our audience was young, they definitely got older by now, right? So definitely, obviously, persons over 18, definitely. Man, we try to actually highlight that traditional aspect, because I think even within the sphere of things that a lot of history is being lost. A lot of our state words are dying out. So you try to see how best you could, disseminate that information in terms of within culture and that traditional aspect, the carnival aspect, and to try to get even youths involved where they show some interest, because you never know, even probably participating, you might get some wire benders coming out, you might get some other individuals that want to participate or even carry on that kind of legacy. So it's not only just participating within the Heritage Festival, but we try to show individuals that there could still be some life within that traditional element.
Excellent. And we're going to take a brief break right here and come back and continue our conversation, because you spoke about that back-to-school drive that you guys are having. We'll chat a little bit about your community engagement. So, guys, see you soon right after this.
I say, thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people.
Are you flood ready? Monitor trusted sources for info. Wear protective gear when you clean up. Contact your insurance provider to assess the damage. An initiative to help people prevent, prepare, recover. TATIL, where people are people.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider TATIL is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider TATIL is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, if you are just joining, we have been talking about the Plymouth J'ouvert, and I have Mr. Cleon McPherson, who is the director of RE Promotions with me this morning. And we're discussing their mass offering for that J'ouvert for 2023, which is called Bois, the Realm of the Gael. And if you see that he would have posted the flyers here, so you could take a look at some of the costumes that can be expected to be portrayed at the J'ouvert. And there's the contact information on the flyer as well if you want to reach out and be a part of that. Really interesting conversations. But we see some of the really spicy ones have already gone.
Yes. You know, spice is full of life, you know.
Right.
But we definitely try to cater for all shapes and sizes as well. So we have also the oak as well, you know, if you want to be covered. We have, you know, different costumes, you know. So if you want to be out there or if you want to be in there, it's definitely up to you. And you have the maple, you have the oak as well.
Right.
Which is basically kind of fully covered. So, you know, for you to be comfortable in your skin.
Definitely.
And well, the guys always get the bad treatment. So, you know, we just.
I mean, what else can they ask for?
Yeah, you can't ask for nothing else. I mean,
unless they want to be competing with the girls now. But we live in a different society.
Yes,
so
yeah. So
different things go.
Oh, yeah, well, right.
Right.
Yeah.
But before we left off for the break, you touched briefly on the fact that number well, most of the proceeds would be going towards your charity initiative that's going to take place at the latter end of August into September as we prepare for the reopening of schools.
Right.
So RE has also prioritized the importance of community engagement and giving back
Yeah,
to
definitely.
the youth. Tell us a bit about how that aspect of the company came about.
Yeah, so we already know we wanted to assist Tobago in terms of the youths itself because we are a youth-based driven organization. So for the past, this will be the 8th year. For the past 8 years, we have been assisting underprivileged students with, in terms of school items, various books. Even when they had the pandemic and, well, we were slowly reopening, we provided various tablets because, you know, at that point in time, it was more, everything was more online. So we even at that point in time, it was actually a little difficult because, you know, in terms of funding, no activities was going on at that point in time, but we still pushed through and we basically got it done. So since we started, up until now, we've assisted over 700 students with various items for their scholastic development.
Excellent. And what is the criteria to qualify to benefit from?
Right. So what we usually do, we would have contact persons within education and that kind of thing. So they would provide us with the various names because, you know, I have some individuals as well that might be as too honest. So the names we get are basically persons that would need these items. So we do our filter system as well, and we package the school bags and the books and stationeries and everything according to the age of the child. So we do from preschool up to secondary school, right?
Excellent, excellent. And you do your own distribution? Is
Yeah, we
this
do our-
done specifically in the Plymouth area? Where is
No,
it
no,
being
no.
done?
We try to target the whole of Tobago. Like last year was more heavily based on the east. So we did it, the distribution was at Shore Park. So we always try to see we could touch the whole of Tobago in some area, but it's not just only school books and bags. We also would have done in terms of special needs children as well. We try to focus on that as well. So we would have assisted in terms of Happy Haven, School for the Deaf and Language Impaired. With in terms of a printer, we'd have provided a printer and different spikes. So it wasn't just school books and bags just for the various students who we target, but also we try to focus on special needs because we realize that even this aspect is, you know, kind of overlooked in some regard. So we definitely do that. Also, we try to assist families that have gone through some crisis. So there's a family we assisted that the house would have burned down. You know, different domestic situations that would have happened as well.
Right, and this happens throughout the year. This is
Throughout
not
the
just,
year.
This is not just
Yeah,
when
because
it's
there were
back to
families that I remember there was a child that would have lost, you know, I think their mother based on a domestic situation. So we try to assist there because, you know, in terms of that guidance. And we always try to do where that we just not just give something and just leave it there, but we also try to follow up on real, you know, to make sure everything is still in order, still, you know, they're going to school and everything is in that kind of order. Because although a lot of organizations usually give out, they usually don't follow up or see exactly the benefits of the given whatever tangible aspect they do.
And I want to make a little plug here, if
No
you
problem.
don't mind, because you remember recently we had that tragedy where we lost two parents, Teresa and Chris Adams, you know, and they have, I think, 3 kids who
Right.
are going to school. Usually, you know, it's such a big conversation for 9 days, but the question always lies, who is continuing to look up, who is continuing to follow up to make sure that these kids have books and
Definitely.
everything that they need in the upcoming
And the thing about it, always, although we have set names, I always leave probably like about 15 because coming up to the event, there's always persons that call in, and I try my best to do, you know, to provide or assist persons as best as I could, you know. Most times we don't say no. If once it's possible to do, we always do, because you never know that child that you probably didn't have for. It didn't know where they could have been, let's say, a decade from now. So we always try to assist children where need be, because at the end of the day, this is Tobago. We here. Everybody's affected or impacted in some way. So.
Excellent. And outside of just participating in the J'ouvert as a means to contributing to the charity work that RE is doing, how can persons really support the initiative outside of that? Let's say, for instance, persons who may not be interested in J'ouvert, but they are seeing the work that you're doing, they're seeing the importance of it and the impact of it on the community, and they want to make a contribution. How can they do that?
Well, usually, I guess after the J'ouvert, usually we put out a flyer. So the flyer would have in terms of a contact number, if if you want to donate money, if you want to donate school books, bags, whatever, and we actually have a pretty decent program. We just not only just do the distribution as well. We have a little entertainment as well for the kids and the parents as well. We usually have a feature speaker that addresses some social ill or some social issue in a sense. So even with that now, we're not only just coming to public to receive something, but also receive knowledge where it can actually help you in your home, or actually help some person to be better as a person, or be even better as a parent. So yeah.
Excellent. And moving forward, how does RE plan to offer a adequate balance of entertainment and social work in the community? Do you plan to have more collaborations maybe with the different divisions or other organizations that are doing similar initiatives to ensure that you can not only sustain yourself but have a great balance between the two things?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely aim for that. But sometimes, how things just go sometimes. We definitely are a kind of proactive organization where that there are some organizations that actually probably wait for their hands out. And then when the event comes, things doesn't work through, and then all is helter-skelter. So we actually do what we have to do. If the help comes, the help comes. If it does not, it's okay and fine. Because I know at this point or this stage in terms of the economy, you have certain persons that, under a little pressure. And if it's where that we could relieve a little bit of stress at some way, some point, even if we are stressed ourselves. But at the end of the day, by even assisting someone, you lift everyone up at the end of the day.
Excellent. And we have Carnival coming up. We have October Carnival, Tobago Carnival. What can we expect to see from RE?
Well, we're not too sure as yet. We're watching how things are going. Last year we actually did a boat ride, which was very successful. It was good. So we'll see how this year works. We're watching it, so you never know. There might be some surprises.
That response says to me that you're not too confident based on what happened last year that you want to do it again.
I wouldn't say that because a lot of persons are asking for certain activities where we have done before. There's a hideaway event we have done before. Many persons have been asking for years for that back. So you never know. There's a possibility, and anything is possible. So
right.
Yeah.
So is it based on the response? So you want persons to reach out and let you all know if they really what they're looking to do for Carnival?
You're trying to put me in problems, because if I say something now, then those
I'm sure your team would support once the request is there from
because a lot of
Tobago.
persons wanted back event we did was called Hideaway, which was more kind of a secluded event, that kind of thing. But once persons know that is going on, it would be kind of pandemonium. But definitely, we would always try to contribute within the cultural sphere of Tobago and see how best we could raise the level and have that kind of not only entertainment and enjoyment, but individuals learn something along the way, along that journey.
Contribute back to the carnival events and stuff like that. But we look forward to seeing what RE might possibly come up with for the Tobago Carnival in October, because we know that you guys actually specialize in carnival events. So
yeah,
excellent. So we look forward to that, and so we want to thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Again, we want to post the flyers for with the different costumes, so you guys can have a final look at that, see what the offering is. That's going to be at the Plymouth J'ouvert.
And distribution basically starts tomorrow at Happy Place from 4:30 p.m. So there's still packages. There's a good bit of meal packages still there, surprisingly. I mean, so you could pick that up and enjoy.
And I want to have my producers just post the flyers one more time. and that's more the realm of the guile, and we looking at different types of wood, right?
Yes,
as a theme for the different costumes.
Different
And we
costumes.
have oak, we have maple.
Oak, we have cedar, we have maple. The men is mahogany. We have also pine. So there's a lot of variety, a lot of different sections to variously choose from. So you can call the various numbers and, you know, you register, or if anything.
I want to ask my producer to go ahead and put those up one more time for me there on the screen. Yeah, and so that we get the contact information and everything.
Yeah.
Right?
So if anything, persons that are looking to register also in Trinidad, because actually Trinidad packages have been actually sorted already. Persons from Trinidad has actually gotten their packages already. So we're dealing with the Tobago aspect now, which will be from tomorrow at Happy Place Bar from 4:30 p.m. So all the persons that would have paid and registered, you know, come and collect your packages. And then our last distribution would be on the 21st at Asia Bar at Crown Point.
Excellent. And are we gonna see these beautiful young ladies there?
Yeah, definitely.
Collect our packages?
Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely.
All right, excellent. Again, thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates. Thank you for choosing Good Morning Tobago. We are always happy to promote what's happening here on the island of Tobago, especially when it has a multi-dimensional aspect to it where it is giving back to the community. So guys, if you are only just joining us, you know, you go back and listen, because this is not just about J'ouvert. The proceeds from these costumes are going towards a charity initiative that will be helping a number of students get back into school come September by assisting them with back-to-school packages. So we look forward to that, guys. And if you are not interested in J'ouvert, but you are hearing what they're doing and you're really interested, or you know someone who might benefit from what is happening in regards to the distribution of these packages, don't be afraid to call that same number that you see there on the flyer and let them know that I want to contribute, I want to give something, or I know a family or a couple of families who would really benefit from the work that's being done. So again, guys, thank you so much for staying tuned this morning, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Again, thank you for making Tobago Updates the #1 broadcast station on the island. Have a great day, guys.